Ezekiel Elliott some advice. Zeke, Zeke, if you want your money, you and your agent are going to have to tell the truth about Dak Prescott. Pretending like you feel disrespected because Jerry Jones cracked a Zeke who joke isn't going to get it done, Zeke. Jerry and the Cowboys are on the verge of doing something absolutely crazy. They're going to pay Dak Prescott like he's a top 10 quarterback and capable of being top 5. Pro Football Focus just ranked all of the NFL's top quarterbacks. Dak checks in at number 17, Tier 3. Here's how Pro Football Focus described Tier 3 quarterbacks. Volatile or conservative quarterbacks whose production will rely even more heavily on supporting cast and play calling. Tier 3 quarterbacks can post top 10 production in any given year in the right situation. According to our friend Jay Glazier, the Cowboys are going to give Dak a contract that pays in the low $30 million per year range. Jerry has said the Cowboys will pay Dak like a top-tier quarterback. That means the Cowboys are going to pay a Tier 3 quarterback like he's Tier 2 or even Tier 1. Jerry's willing to overpay for Dak, but not Zeke. That's the disrespect Zeke feels. Don't hide what you really feel, Zeke. You or your agent, call me. I'll leak it out. I'll credit it to a source with knowledge of what Zeke is thinking. I won't put your name on it, but you need to let Cowboys and Cowboy fans know what your real issue is. You need to let Dak know. You need to let your teammates know. They'll understand. Zeke, you and the offensive line have been doing all the cooking in the Cowboys' offense. Now it's time to eat, and Jerry's about to give Dak the big piece of chicken. Are you kidding me? Daddy get the big piece of chicken. Chris Rock told us that. Pay Dak in compliments. Tell Dak, oh, what a nice check down throw that was. Tell Dak what a great leader he is. But Daddy gets the big piece of chicken. That's you, Zeke. If somebody's going to get overpaid in Dallas, it should be Ezekiel Elliott. But Zeke needs to let us know how he feels. Closed mouth can't get fed. Man up. Stop Jerry from giving Dak the big piece of chicken. All right, Mark Schlereth and James Harrison are back with us. Marcellus, I'll start with you. Should Zeke try to stop the Cowboys from overpaying Dak?
First of all, no Whitlock has ever got me hungrier than that one. What the hell you all this chicken you talking about? Boys is out
Chris
there.
Rock.
I know.
Like chicken.
What do you think an agent is doing? Like, what do you think a player-agent relationship is? It's good cop, bad cop. Being a part of negotiations, I know you have in your own right and own respect, but being a part of player negotiations with the union, with a team, boy, when your agent gets on the phone, it's a lot of pushing and pulling. And he's going to push for you, but he's going to pull, and sometimes it turns into a negative situation. Many a times it does. It's just like when there was a big buzz about, oh, these coaches are doing negative recruiting out there. They're not just trying to get you to come to their program, but they're talking bad about the other programs. I was like, yeah, what do you think they do? Whenever you see a situation that is stagnant, there's always going to be that push-pull. So, yeah, Zeke's agent is already doing this dirty work when he's on the phone with Stephen Jones and others. It's just it's not for public consumption because we haven't hit the panic button yet. This is not panic button time right now because until Dak signs and takes all the chicken, is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Until Dak takes the whole bucket away, Zeke sits there comfortably and reminds them through his agent who's the best player on their team and who deserves that price tag.
I don't think you go in and try and stop someone else from getting money. I'm just not of that era. I believe it's enough money to go around. They can move it however they need to get whoever paid that they need to get paid. I don't think you talk ill about anybody else to make it better for yourself. I'm just not of that nature. I'm not of that mindset. I think Zeke's body of work speaks for itself, and anybody who has a little bit of common sense knows that if they don't have Zeke, Dak is going to have a hard time trying to do anything, getting that ball down the field, if they no longer have a threat of having to stack 7, 8, and 9 people in the box to try and stop this man from running the ball. So to do it that way, I don't think you try and stop Dak from getting paid, but you just make it, tell him, look at the body of work. You are going to have to pay me if you want to have success. You want to make it to a Super Bowl, any chance, you need Zeke in there, period.
The rungs on the ladder of success are not built on the backs of your teammates, right? Those are not the rungs you're stepping over to get your money. Don't fall for the narrative of, oh, it's cap, it's salary cap. There is plenty. There is plenty of money. You've got Tyron Smith making $15 million a year. You've got Zach Martin making 14, Cooper making 13, DeMarcus Lawrence making 11, Travis Frederick making 9. You don't think you can renegotiate those contracts to long-term deals and free up money? Baloney. Of course you can. That's the way the NFL cap works. You know, the NFL always pleads, oh, we're poor. We don't have, the organizations, we're poor. We don't have the cap space when they don't want to pay you. But when they want to pay you or something comes up, you know what? They can always find the money. They can always renegotiate. There's plenty of money to pay Zach, to pay Dak, to pay Zeke, to pay everybody on that roster if you want to get that done.
You know what? I totally believe your narrative, except when it comes to Jerry Jones and the Cowboys. I don't think Jerry Jones has ever been cheap with a player he likes. So I believe Jerry when he's like, I just have to have a lot of players I like. They just re-up with Jalen Smith as we've been doing this show. They announced it. That's early, young guy that they like, a linebacker they like. They have the corner Byron Jones they're going to have to do a deal with. Again, Amari Cooper. See, I believe Jerry that it's like, hey, this salary cap and with all the young players we have, we're in a tough spot. And I think just honestly, it all centers on Dak. Dak wants too much money for the kind of player he is. And it's going to affect the amount of money they can pay Ezekiel Elliott. And when Zeke Elliott hears, we're going to pay Dak like he's a top-tier quarterback, his head damn near explodes. He goes, I'm the best player. I'm the engine of this offense, but you're going to overpay this dude and underpay me? I think if he puts it out there somewhere in the public space to where people can actually talk about this and discuss it, I think Cowboys fans, I think the media, I think everybody say, hey, man, this is crazy.
They not go write the check, though. Jerry got to write the check, so.
Yeah.
Jerry's about to do something crazy, man. You do not. He's a tier 3 quarterback.
I don't see him paying that kind of. I hope he doesn't pay that kind of money for that kind of performance. Dak has given the last 3 years or so.
They're gonna pay him in the 30s.
You know what? Don't understate what just happened, y'all. Jalen Smith just got paid. Y'all remember last week, and I made mention of this, and it didn't get a lot of headlines out there when Jerry Jones said, "Someone's gonna sign a deal that we like, and that's gonna set everything in motion." Jalen Smith just signed right now. Now, we all anticipated it was going to be one of the three. But Amari Cooper, we haven't mentioned his name yet. He's sitting there patiently on the sidelines just watching this public issue between Dak's value and Zeke's value. And he's going to benefit from it because Jalen Smith just benefited from it. Right. And I think Jerry's like, okay, there's two ways to handle this. Top down or bottom up. And, in terms of who... Jalen Smith is signing an early deal in part because of his issues with his injuries and in part because of his production. He's like, I got to cash in right now. Jerry might be in the works of trying to go bottom up with this. And while Dak and Zeke are letting the public have fodder about their deals, maybe they sign up everyone else and then they force the hand of those remaining because the salary cap will be in play because we've signed so many guys. We gave you your top 5 value contracts. You didn't want to sign them. Now we're signing everyone else. Who's coming up? What's left? We'll see how that plays.
I don't know. I don't know if that plays out because for me, I wouldn't go bottom up. I would go from the top of whoever I'm going to pay the most amount of money, the guy that I feel like I cannot do this without, I'm going to pay him first and I'm going to work my way down to where if I get to that bottom and now the cap is really an issue and I don't have the money left, then it's not a person that I can't live without.
But be a true businessman. You got Dak for 1 more year in the franchise tag. You got Zeke for 2 more years.
If I'm a true businessman and I look at Dak's numbers, what he got? 16 games of under 200 yards over the last 3 years. He only has 4, 5, 6 games, maybe at most over 300 yards. I could get a quarterback in the draft and have him for another 2, 3 years and tell him hand the ball off to Zeke, and we're going to play action and get down the field the same way we did with you.
We're saying the same thing, basically. Right. And John Dorsey is going out there right now. He just said it in The Athletic in terms of studying the quarterback position, making a revolving door around rookie deals, and then building the team around just cheap rookie quarterbacks. So it's a real play. And if you're right, we're saying the same thing. Dak, you might get squeezed out of this situation if you don't sign the deal that's on the table.
I would say the tier 3 quarterback thing to me is like the majority of guys in my mind are tier 3 quarterbacks.
So why pay him 30-some-odd million?
Well, yeah, I mean, the going rate is the going rate for the quarterback position.
I haven't. He was only tier 3, I think, slotted.
Jimmy Garoppolo, what's he?
He ain't making 30.
Well,
He's
27.
27 and a half. And again, if Dak would take 27 and a half, they'd have a deal.
I'm just telling you, most quarterbacks, if you're not named Brady and Rodgers and maybe Breeze, right?
Mahomes.
Mahomes.
And Wilson.
All right, most quarterbacks have got to have players around them, good players around them, to be productive. I mean, this is the ultimate in complementary. Football is the ultimate complement. Like, if you don't block, I don't care how good your receiver is. If you can't block the guys up front, you know what? Your receiver doesn't make an impact.
Well, they got a good line, though. I mean,
yeah, but I'm just saying, everybody's got to be.
Mark, people get paid on potential.
Sure.
And so I think this guy can be a guy that can carry a team. That's why Kirk Cousins got paid.
Okay.
And it's a mistake.
Right. But the potential thing is, if you're going to pay a guy on potential, do it early. That's Jalen Smith.
Yeah.
Do it early so you get a good deal. The Cowboys had him targeted. They knew that he was their quarterback. You should have done this last year. You should never get it to the point where you can see on the horizon, oh my gosh, there's free agency looming. I'm going to get paid. Why would I take the good deal now? Why would I let go of my leverage now? I can see it on the horizon.
Well, I think the Cowboys and what Jerry think is, okay, Dak, okay, you get to that finish line and get to free agency and see if anybody pays you $30 million a year like we're talking about doing. I don't see it happen.
What do you think, though?
I
think your agent is sitting there saying, trust the market. If they're going to devalue you, trust the market.
Well, then you're going to have to franchise him. What's the franchise taking?
No, you don't have to franchise him. Draft you a rookie quarterback.
All right.
Dak,
All right.
nice little run.
All right.
Go take that $22 million that Jacksonville or somebody just offered you. The same as he's got Nick Foles' value. And Nick Foles got $22 million. Dak, they're doing him a favor.
Don't do that to Dak. He has a way better resume than Nick Foles.
Nick Foles got a Super Bowl.
Yeah, exactly. Patches.
I like Nick Foles
Nick
better.
Foles. Resume. What? Second most wins at the position since he's been in the league? Y'all talking about Nick Foles? Which was respect.
Wins. He got.
No, I'm just saying, Nick Foles won the playoff games, and then the next year he goes into the playoffs again. But when you put him out there 1 through 16, come on, man. You
All right, Darnell, we missed anything?
Go with Dak.
Yeah, another guy who might be playing a role in Dak's negotiations is Jimmy G, who, as you guys discussed earlier, looked horrible last night's preseason game against the Broncos. This Cowboys blog tweeted out, people really say with full confidence that they would take Jimmy G over Dak Prescott. I want to ask you guys, do you think Jimmy's poor play will actually impact Dak's contract negotiation?
It would if it was me. It would make me less likely to pay Dak.
Yeah.
I gotta go with you on that one. I'm all the way there with that one.
It's like, soon you see that and Carson Wentz just being real. Like, those contracts actually hurt Dak in the sense of he has a better resume than Carson Wentz. At the same time, you're like, but that's premature. Like, so those are two deals that I think are premature. Like, you're overvaluing that prospect.
Well, go to the running back position. You think that the Todd Gurley deal or the David Johnson deal for $13 million, you think that hurts Zeke Elliott?
Yeah.
Of course it does. Of course it does. So same principle. Yeah, I'm 100% with you.
Yeah. Somehow they turned it into this was going to help Dak, but I think they've got the wrong read on that. But I would love for you to make that point again that you made about, because I agree with you. I'd rather have Nick Foles than Dak Prescott. I don't think that's a crazy statement.
That's just my opinions. I've played, I've got to see Nick Foles, and I've seen enough Dak, and I feel like Nick Foles can go in there and win me a game, and I'm not that confident in Dak going in there and doing that.
Nick Foles is lightning in the bottom, almost twice, but he can't make it rain 1 through 16 like Dak Prescott can, and that's just the difference.
Dak's making it rain.
Dog, y'all think he's
making
you think
it
he just show up in the stadium and then the points just add up and you just get the win?
What strip clubs have you been to?
A lot. In Dallas, too. I know it does.
Dak makes it sprinkle. You don't make it rain.
You getting wet anyway. Second most wins.
So you talking about raining? He has.
He ain't making a tsunami up in that
running back. So they're running time off the clock, running the ball.
You're like, right?
Ain't hurricane up in there, but it's still some water dropping.
A former NBA player just called out LeBron for something ridiculous. Stick around, because I'm actually going to defend King James.